Ocean. An hour into the flight, the pilot reported smoke in the cockpit. Nowhere else to go. You're out over the Pacific Ocean, well out over the ocean by that point. He had to do a 180 and come right back into LAX. He landed in a nighttime pattern on runway 7 left in an easterly direction, a successful landing without incident. But as soon as that plane came to a halt mid-runway, Tony and Gene, it did not taxi off. We thought that they were going to do an emergency evacuation, and that's exactly what happened. The chutes opened up, and the passengers came out. This plane typically carries about 150 passengers. It looked like most everybody, at least on this side of the plane, were able to evacuate safely. It looks like one small kid kind of took a little tumble as they made their way down the slide, but otherwise no injuries were reported. A big turnout by LA City Fire. Those firefighters went in with full gear and water to extinguish any type of fire. But we're hearing pretty much a successful situation here. Nobody seriously injured, but the runway, the north end of the two south runways, remain shut down, and it will remain closed for some time. Now, the reason why we were here is because we were awaiting the Airbus A380 due in here at LAX at about 9:40, 9:45 this morning, but they halted all traffic on both of these runways because of this situation involving this American Airlines Boeing 757. And we see the Airbus A380 coming in right now, Tony and Gene. There it is. This is an Emirates Airlines that's coming in on runway 25 left from New York City. And this is sort of a promotional tour because this big daddy, this Airbus A380, is going to serve non-stop service actually between LAX and Dubai beginning in the end of October.
It's right there.
This is a cruise ship with wings, I tell you, Tony. You've seen this thing land. I've seen it land once before at LAX. It's
Emirates.
239 feet long, 79.5 feet high. It has a wingspan of 262 feet. It can travel 8,200 nautical miles, 555 passengers in a 3-class system. It's due in here in less than a minute. It's crossing over the 405 now, then Aviation Boulevard. Then we'll be touching down here on runway 25 left, and it's going to be buzzing right past that American Boeing 757 that made the emergency landing that landed in the easterly direction.
Are you going to be
here we go, just a few seconds away here as this Airbus A380 makes its landing. And for more on this, let's go to Suzanne Marquez. She's on the ground. Look at this. Daddy, come in, Suzanne.
Hey, Rick. Yeah, it's quite the extreme. We have a big, huge aircraft coming in that's a celebration of sorts, while we, on another side of the runway have an emergency with smoke filling a cabin. So it is quite interesting because there was a lot of security already out here today, basically to debut this aircraft coming in, this Emirates Airlines A380. It's going to be flying from LA to Dubai non-stop. It's a double-decker Airbus with plush bathrooms, temperature-controlled floors, sofas, spas, showers, 2 lounges with bar service. So kind of like a plane that you've never heard of before. Flights for first class will be $19,000. So it's kind of fun. You see the plane go past as you see all of the emergency vehicles over there. Fortunately, nobody was hurt on board is what we hear. Here on the ground, all of the media was already gathered here. So virtually every media outlet from LA was already on site for the breaking news. And then here we have this aircraft coming in. It's been doing a tour around the country, just kind of showing off this new aircraft, which was nearly $327 million to be exact. And it's kind of like the Titanic, where you have a few first class seats for 19 grand, 76 business class seats for $9,000, and then nearly 400 economy seats, where most of us would be flying if we were going to Dubai. And those cost between $1,500 and $2,000. And they don't feature all of the other amenities that we talked about for first class. So, yeah, this thing's a whopper, I'll tell you.
Suzanne, how close is this A380 landing compared to where that emergency landing of that American Airlines plane just 15 minutes ago?
I would say it's like either a 1/4 or an 1/8 of a mile away. I mean, it's really close.
Yeah, I didn't know if it really hampered the landing there.
Yeah, it's really one runway over, so it's pretty interesting. I mean, you could probably make the walk in about 5 minutes, so it is not far at all. And they were supposed to have the fire trucks shooting water over this plane arriving. I think they sent them all over to that emergency, though, I will say.
Well, they were ready.
Yep.
Suzanne, thanks.
Thanks.
All right, Suzanne, fortunately, the comparison you made there to the Titanic with